Ladies and gentlemen, I am about to take you on an adventure in science that just might baffle your mind. You know, today we've got an HP computer come into the computerized store here so we can computerize it, get it working and everything, get it all fixed up, and we need a CD-ROM. Today's computers just don't have no CD-ROM. It's like they forgot it or something. I don't know. But anyway, so we need a CD-ROM, and we do not have an external CD-ROM, so what will we ever do? Well, that's when I was thinking with my thinker, and I come up with this here idea. And I'll tell you what, back in my dad's day, now I don't know, you don't know my dad. Back in my dad's day, he's a little older, quite possibly some of the first descendants of Adam and Eve. But back in his day, they used some terminology that was a little more colorful than we use today. Some might call it insensitive, but my dad was a preacher. He was not an insensitive man. So the term that he would have used for what we're about to perform here today is African American engineering. But hold on. I think it's better than that. I think it just might be pure genius. Okay, so we need a CD-ROM. Here we have a CD-ROM. Won't quite fit in our laptop, though, kind of a problem. But hold on. We're going to fix that. So we have a hard drive docking bay. Nice little hard drive docking bay, but you're like, wait a minute, that won't fit. And that's where you're wrong. So what we did in our stroke of genius here is we come up with our docking bay, which is going to give us our power to power our drive, and it's also going to give us our connection to a USB port to give us our data. Okay, so then the next thing we have to do is we have to have a cable to hook up our data. We have this handy dandy hard drive adapter, which will fit right here in our external DVD drive. And you say, problem solved. That's where you're wrong. We do not have any power. And as you will see, this adapter comes over the power connector. It won't fit. So we think, oh no, it's not going to work. Well, that's where you're wrong. Here comes the science. Oh, there you are. So what we did is we come down in here to our super top secret scientific laboratory down here where we do all of our computer magic. And we come down to the top secret parts harvesting facility. See what I mean? See what I mean right there? We got parts. We got parts for days. Parts for days. So what we did was we reached in there and we grabbed one of these here cords and we pulled it out. And but anyway, we got it out. We got the two plugs we need and a little jumper right here all together. Now, here's where the magic happens. Okay, we come over here to our scientific facilities and we come on over and we sit down and we used our micro soldering station. It heats up to 400 degrees Celsius. Now, I don't know what Celsius is. I think that's something the Chinese come up with to overthrow our government. But, you know, it's hot. So we used that and we took our connector and we melted down the back of this plastic so as not to cut the wire. We was going to use some dikes, but what's that? Oh, I don't know what I was thinking. I'm sorry. We was going to use some alternative lifestyle pliers, but we was afraid it would cut the wire. So we used our soldering gun and we just melted all around it and took that chunk of goodness off the back. And then we took and we bent these suckers over. We just mushed them good. And we went in there and we just bent, pushed, just bent the terminations at them. Now, no terminations was actually harmed in the making of this video. We used artificial terminations, I'll have you know. So then we got our adapter made. We come back up here to the assembly line. We're going to slip right on up here and I'm going to show you what happened next. So what we did, ladies and gentlemen, is we took this handy dandy little wire out of an old computer with old power style plugs and we took it, pulled that out, cut it off and made it the length we need. Now we're going to run down because we also had to do some modifications. The wires are coming too far out the back. So we took it down into the handy dandy shop, and we took some cutters, and we tried to cut the plastic, but we thought, well, that's going to cut our wires. So we took a micro soldering iron at 400 degrees Celsius. Now, I don't know what temperature that really is. I think that's something the Chinese did to kind of throw off our government to take over the world, but, you know, who's to say about that? So what we did was we took that thermometer, or that soldering iron, at whatever temperature that is, and we melted off the piece we needed. And then once we had that melted off, our prongs were still too long. So we took and we smashed the bejesus out of it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, no actual bejesuses were harmed in the making of this. We only used artificial bejesuses. So then we had a little malfunction here, so we actually come in and reusing our handy dandy micro soldering iron again. We come in and we're going to solder our last connector right on there, and ta-da! Ta-da, ladies and gentlemen, we have an adapter. Now, I know what you're saying. Look at them wires. There's bare wires there, and you're correct. But I do believe that 3.5 volts DC, as long as our wires don't short and touch each other and burn something up, and as long as you don't grab a hold of them and set off Grandma's industrial love toy that's in the dresser, thing scares me to death, we should be okay. 3.5 volts ain't going to hurt nobody. So we're going to come back in here. We're going to plug this thing up. I'll be right back with you, and we'll give it a whirl. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're up here at the assembly line, and what we have done is we have taken our bay, and we have hooked our power wires as needed into the bay. We have hooked power wires as needed into the docking station. And then we have hooked up our high-tech data cable on over to the PC, and looky. Oh, hold on. We're missing a wire. Hang on. Well, it's super scientific, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you wonder, is this all? Is this the end? Is this the end of our educational, instructificational videos? And I don't think so, ladies and gentlemen. You tune in next week, you kind ladies and you gentle gentlemen. And I know you're gentle. It ain't at all like that ex-wife said. You don't know how that cupboard full of Hummel toys wound up, fell over in the front yard and burst into flames. Quite likely an act of God. We know you're a gentleman. Well, anyway, you tune in next week. We're going to be taking some baling wire, some duct tape, and some sassafras, and we're going to be making a solid-state hard drive. Y'all take care now. Appalachian Computer Repair. If it's broke, call somebody who cares, because we're going fishing.